Дейв Коза я услышал где-то в середине 90-х годов, когда на горбушке купил какой-то диск из его первых альбомов, по-моему, 93-й год альбом был, Lucky Man, кажется. Вот. И тогда очень заинтересовался его манерой, мне понравилось, его чувство стиля.
После всего точно такого, только оно появилось, собственно. Уже в то время был уже работал на профессиональной сцене.
У меня есть несколько его дома дисков. Я бывала на его концертах, у меня есть его автографы. Со сцены он смотрится просто великолепно, всегда делает потрясающее шоу. И с концерта всегда возвращаешься вдохновленным на новые подвиги на саксофоне.
С творчеством Дейв Коза я знаком давно. И он мне интересен и как саксофонист, и как музыкант его аранжировки.
Он вообще фантастически просто владеет инструментом. И больше даже не инструментом, а именно восприятием смуса.
У Дейва Коза хороший звук, он интересный, вкусный, богатый, круглый, яркий.
Очень нравится именно логичность импровизации.
Дейв Коз, он поет на саксе. То есть вот игру Дейв Коза, особенно медленные баллады, я бы сравнил с Уитни Хьюстон, Мария Кэрри.
Ну, если даже подходить к этому прагматично, скажем так, то я считаю, что эта музыка гораздо более понятна, как говорил Владимир Ильич, широким массам.
Okay. Questions now. Sure.
Есть такие джазовые пуристы, которые называют смуз джаз инструментальной поп-музыкой в большей степени, нежели джазом. Вот как вы к этому относитесь?
For me, I think for me I play instrumental pop music. The word jazz is a hot button. Many people think, well, jazz is meant to be played a certain way. I mean, very serious music, you know, very serious. I never approached music that way. I always approached it as fun and whatever feels right, natural. So I try and stay away from saying I'm a jazz musician. I just play the saxophone. I play my music. But for years and years, jazz critics and purists have they've raked me over the coals. They've been rough. Some people now, you know, because I've been doing it for a long, long time, over 20 years now. People have kind of understood that it's the kind of music that I make, and it's gotten a lot better. I think that the names of things can be problematic. Sometimes it's hard to put categories into music. It's hard to put a name to a style of music. So I play saxophone music. Some people might describe it as pop music, or some people might say it's jazz, some people say it's smooth jazz, I don't know.
В 80-х годах вы играли Джефф Лобер Fusion Band. У вас манера была более, так сказать, фанково жесткая. Теперь вы играете более, скажем так, поете на саксе, как вокалисты, там, Уитни Хьюстон, Марьячи, то есть динамика, манера у вас несколько поменялась. Сейчас вы, нет желания такие проекты, как Джефф Лобер Бенд, вот в том стиле играть. Когда
I was wondering whether he was going to bring up.
And play this music again.
He did bring up my hair. My hair had big. So embarrassing. That's why I don't like YouTube. No, Jeff Lorber is a very important person in my life. He was the first person when I met. I auditioned for his band. It was in 1986, so it's 25 years ago. I went to his house to audition for his band, and he said, okay, you have the gig, and I want to make a record with you. I think you could make your own records. And that was the first time anybody had ever said that to me. I didn't even think about it for myself. And that began a wonderful friendship, and we've been friends for this whole time. And we've made many, many records together. Playing in Lorber's band, just to answer your question, is a very different mindset. You have to kind of put on a different hat. Like playing in anybody's band, you have to adapt to the music. His music is very cerebral and very, staccato and very complicated. My music is is very different. It's much more kind of lyrical, kind of very different style musically. So, but I do enjoy playing that kind of music. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Изначально на чем вы? Классика или сразу джаз?
I started on piano when I was maybe 6 or 7, and I did not like the piano, so I rebelled against my parents and played the drums. And then I was so bad on the drums. I mean, really bad. This actually happened at a drum lesson. My dad came to pick me up to the music teacher's house, and he pulled the teacher aside, or the teacher pulled my dad aside and said, "You might want to think about sports for Dave, because the drum's not going to make it."
На мой личный взгляд, я считаю, что музыкант любой должен пройти школу барабанщика. Любой саксофонист, и очень хорошо считает.
It's a must.
Time is very important. Time is really, I agree. I think that time is, to have a sense of time. Intonation is really important too, but intonation is a thing that is one of the markers of personality on an instrument. If you're playing exactly every note in tune, which is, by the way, impossible on a saxophone, but every note in tune and in time is boring. So the slightly out of tune on certain notes and slightly behind the time or ahead of time is personality. So in order to have some flexibility of those things, that's how you can tell different players, is how they approach their intonation, how they approach their concept of time, and where they put the notes. I do what I do, and I think I do it well, but there are so many people that play circles around me on the saxophone. So many people that are but that I don't know how to do that. So I just do what I do, and that's the whole goal, really, for the musicians who are here, is finding your own voice on the saxophone. Take it. Don't necessarily do what others have done with it. Do what you want to do with it and take it to its next level. You, for example, I'd like to hear you play, by the way. I'm sure that you approach the saxophone completely different than I do, which makes you a wonderful musician and uniquely you. So that's what I like to tell, especially young people, is don't try to copy. Forget copying. It's good to practice. It's good to listen to music and respond and maybe learn some licks, but you have to find who you are on the instrument. That goes for any instrument.
Вы держите мундштук немного в сторону. Чем это продиктовано?
Probably just a bad habit. If Kenny G, he plays, I don't even know how.
Вы знаете Kenny G, он играет вообще.
I don't know. People have so many bad habits. I'm not sure how it developed, but everybody has their mouthpiece that's got a little specific, natural for them, but maybe not for you. You have to be able to take the saxophone and make it yours in whatever way feels the most natural. So everybody's got to find their own thing that makes them feel comfortable.
То есть ваш первый преподаватель не говорил вам: Дейв, возьми по центру.
You know what? It's funny. I never really had a formal saxophone teacher. I had music teachers. Maybe for a very short time when I was growing up did I have a sax teacher, someone that taught me the saxophone. But for the most part, I discovered the saxophone on my own, and I played. That's probably why I have so many bad habits. Thumb rest here as opposed to here where it probably should be. I keep really it should be more proper the way I should play, but I keep a real strong grip this side. So many bad habits because I didn't have a proper saxophone teacher. Probably because I end up using the saxophone lots of wild positions when I'm playing. So, all over the place. So I keep a much stronger grip of the instrument.
Хорошо, вы используете танцевальные элементы, двигаетесь хорошо. Это какие-то уроки, или это природное, или постоянно занимаетесь?
Me at the disco is bad. It's bad. Without the saxophone, I'm a complete klutz.
Вы являетесь звездой в особенности смуз-джаза. Другой знаменитый американский смуз-джазовый саксофонист Kenny G в интервью не раз рассказывал, что он как музыкант вырос на музыке Гровера Вашингтона, отца смуз-джаза. Кто для вас был таким вот музыкальным отцом, на чьей музыке вы воспитывали свой музыкальный вкус?
Well, probably number one was Tom Scott, and up there was David Sanborn. Huge David Sanborn, and I listened to Phil Woods a lot, and Grover Washington, of course, Charlie Parker, Cannonball Adderley, a lot of alto players, and then exposed to a lot of the more traditional jazz musicians as well. But I always liked more, me personally, I liked more the pop style, R&B style of saxophone playing.
Какую музыку слушаете вы вот сейчас, в последнее время? Покупаете ли вы музыку? И какие последние альбомы вы купили в последнее время?
The last album I bought was, I think it was Adele. Adele? Do you know Adele? Singer. Yeah. I buy a lot of pop music. Do you know who Janelle Monáe is? R&B singer. Very, very good.
Скажите, эти альбомы вы купили на дисках или в цифровом формате?
iTunes.
iTunes?
iTunes, yeah. Although I still like to buy CDs. I like CDs.
Колоссальное распространение получило пиратское скачивание музыки из интернета в MP3 формате. А как в Америке в этом отношении обстоит дело?
I think it's certainly going there. It's not quite there yet. There are two different groups of people. One is the group of people who feel like everything should be free. Just everything's free. Music is free, movies free, books free. Then there are the people that say we need to make sure that everybody pays for intellectual property. And I think probably somewhere in the middle is the right answer. I don't think everything should be free, but I also think that the idea of charging for music the way that we have been doing it in the past is not going to work for the future because people are now used to something different. So if I were to guess in the future, you see, do you have Netflix here?
Sorry?
Netflix? Don't know?
I'm not sure.
Netflix is a subscription service over the internet that you pay, I don't know, maybe $8 a year. You can have as many movies as you want. And they're not, you don't own them, you just stream them. They come through your TV, they can come on your handheld, iPad or whatever. I think it's going to probably be a hybrid of that in the future. If you're talking about just in the United States, it's not enough. But when you open it up to the entire world, you have millions and millions of people spending $3 a month maybe. Then you have a big, huge piece of the pie and there's more money to go around. I don't think that art is here to stay. Music and movies and books and all different kinds of entertainment are only going to get more prevalent. We need it. Our culture needs it. You know, we need to have the diversion and be able to be entertained. You know, I think that we'll see the business side of things come to make it work. One way or another, the business will figure itself out, and there will be a future for entertainment, certainly. It used to be when you made a record, you turned in a tape, a master tape. Here is my album, and then it went into a vault, and then that was a physical thing that it was. Now, it's like you turn your record in on a hard drive, and the day that you make your record and you say, here's my album, the hard drive is, there's a new incarnation of it. So there's no such thing really as like a master anymore. Got it.
Что касается игры с мусом, ну, по-моему, сейчас это достаточно сильно поднимается течение, и я думаю, что будет реальный уровень занимать в России смус-джаз.
Good musicians here in Moscow. Звучит отлично.
Вы фантастически вкусно играете баллады. Вы
Thank
играете
you.
их так, как будто поет очень хороший вокалист. Слушая вашу игру, можно подумать, что вы должны очень хорошо петь. Потому что вы играете так, как вокалист поет.
Как Фил Перри.
Да. Вы поете? Вы сами поете?
No, нет. But I do sing on the album. My latest one, I sing one song, but it's this kind of song where you don't have to be a big singer to sing it. So it's called "This Guy's in Love with You." So I don't really have a good voice, you know, just a little small voice, but not really much of a singer, but I'm a fan of singers. You mentioned Phil Perry's. Now there's a singer.
Фразы джазовые, которые у вас есть в голове, вы их используете сразу или вы выписываете это на ноты, выучиваете все?
Well, there are some. My music, my own music, is very. There's not long periods of time where there's open improvisation. Little bits, maybe 16 bars or 32 bars. So it's kind of set. I don't plan my solos. They are spontaneous and whatever, but sometimes because we're playing the same songs nightly, they will have a certain structure that I will go for because I know it works.
Скажите, вы не просто превосходный музыкант, вы звезда. Это разные категории. Чтобы стать превосходным музыкантом, нужно много работать самому, над собой. Чтобы стать звездой, насколько важна помощь рекорд-лейбла, с которым у вас контракт, чтобы стать звездой?
First of all, you think I'm a perfect player? Really? Wow. Come here, let me hug you. That's very nice. You made my day. I don't agree, but thank you anyway. We're always learning, trying to get better. And the saxophone for me is a lifetime of discovery. Every year, I've been playing for 35 years. So every year, it's some more lessons to learn. But to answer your question, I was signed to Capitol Records, and I've made records for them for 20 years, and now I make records for a company called Concord, which is part of the Universal family. And you're right in that's a big part of the job. Is not just the music making. The music making is the most important part, but then it's the marketing and how do you get your music out to a wide variety of people. And now we've got so many different mechanisms at our fingertips where it's amazing, that I could come all the way to Moscow and have a room full of saxophone players know my music and know who I am. It's just amazing. That's because of the internet and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all the tools that we have to market ourselves. So you don't need to have a big record company to become a star, because it's really about the relationship that you have with your fans one-on-one.
Если кто не знает, мистер Дейв Коз, он является, ведущим собственного радиошоу Дейв Коз радиошоу. Я являюсь постоянным слушателем вашего шоу, веб-трансляции. Так сказать, я слушаю разные радио, skyfm, smoothjazz.com и ваше, чтобы иметь наиболее, так сказать, полное представление по картине мировой индустрии, что происходит сейчас. Мне очень интересно, что... вопрос такой. Каков критерий отбора артистов на ваше радио?
Our guests tend to be people who have had at least 3 songs that have been singles. That's kind of the prerequisite.
В этом году планируется Smooth Jazz Cruise?
Yes, we do one every year. This summer, I'm hosting one that goes to Alaska from Seattle, Washington. And then next year, we're much closer to you guys. We're going to be from Barcelona, Spain, to Italy and France in September of 2012. And those cruises are great. Passenger jams, and many passengers who come are great musicians. Not professionals, but good musicians. And so that's the most fun for me, is hearing the passengers. And the winner of the contest from the passengers plays in the big show with me in the big showroom as a guest.
Когда вы не задействованы в каких-то гастролях вне Америки, внутри, в своем родном городе, как много концертов у вас бывает в месяц?
I live in Los Angeles. We do one summer show and one show in the winter. 2 shows a year. Approximately 2 shows a year. In the U.S., we have tours that do slightly larger places. So occasionally I play clubs, but more like little guest appearances as opposed to our show. Usually we save our show for a larger festival or a theater.
Если у вас есть свободное время, как вы его проводите? Какое у вас хобби в жизни? Может быть, вы с семьей отдыхаете, спортом занимаетесь? Вообще, какие интересы еще с жизнью?
Simple kind of person when it comes, because my life is so crazy, you know, traveling around. So when I'm home, quiet. I love to go, I'm a horrible cook, but I like to cook. And I like wine very much. And I like to travel. I love traveling. And sports, not so much.
А вот как вы сейчас поддерживаете форму на саксофоне? То есть занятия или...
I'm not very good at, I shouldn't say this publicly, but I'm not such a great practice person.
А еще тогда, если занимаетесь, то вы сами играете соло или под минус, или что?
Yeah. No, just solo play, just for me, you know. But I like to play with so this, like I say to students, get out of the practice room. The practice room is good, you know, to hone your craft, but you must make music with other people. It's like a communication thing, you know, like the three of us, we just had communication with Vadim on piano. We had 4 people making music. That was music. If we played it alone in the practice room, it was...
Да простят меня поклонники Эрика Мариенталя. Вот, я хотел бы задать такой вопрос. В принципе, вы играете на почти одинаковом сете. Мне очень нравится ваш звук. Он яркий, песочный, открытый, современный, в отличие от Эрика Мариенталя. Но я хотел бы задать такой вопрос. Заслуга, скажем, такого острого звука, это заслуга саунд-продюсера?
No. It's coming from the horn. The sound is the sound. You know, it's the alto sax is a very bright instrument, and I fight against that a lot, not to make it too bright. If anything, the recording engineers will back off the high end off of the instrument to make it sound a little bit more warm. Because this instrument is, compared to the tenor and the soprano, very bright. And also in a live situation, the house engineer will adjust to make sure that it's not too bright. Do you like Eric Marienthal?
Yeah.
He's my very good friend. He's a phenomenal musician. I'm a big, huge fan of his.
Мне тоже нравится, что делает Эрик Мариенталь, но тем не менее, как бы на протяжении всей дискографии звучит все очень ярко, очень одинаково, вот, все очень классно, супер, просто. Можно ли взглянуть внутрь мундштука? Делал ли он рефейс мундштука? Меня конкретно это интересует, поскольку я занимаюсь рефейсом.
Yes, of course. Might be a little dirty in there. This mouthpiece has been customized. It has a little baffle, like a epoxy baffle, that a friend of mine who works in Los Angeles does that for many, many professionals. His name is John Yoakum, and he does these very special things inside the mouthpieces to make it more however you want it to be.
Такой вопрос еще. Хорошо, почему тогда вы не играете на ARB?
Play what? Oh. Brillheart.
Yeah.
I think I've tried it before. I'm a creature of habit though. See, I'm not like, I just go, and then one day I was, well, let me try something else, and I try it, and then maybe use that, but mostly I just keep, if it's working, I just keep going with it. I'm not always trying new things all the time.
Вы играете на таких особых тростях, которые через какое-то время использования начинают отслаивать чешуйки. В какой момент вы откладываете трость как износившуюся? Когда уже эти чешуйки отслаиваются, или вы как-то чувствуете?
This is the age-old question. How long do the reeds last? This one, maybe I've used it for maybe 2 shows. Right before I came to Russia, I was on tour in the U.S., and so we did 3 shows in a row, 4 shows in Texas, and I used that one for the last 2 shows, and I used it for a rehearsal yesterday here, maybe for this, but for the show tomorrow here, I'll probably find a different reed because it's on its last days. But sometimes a reed will last maybe a couple songs, sometimes it can last for a week.
А почему именно Yamaha?
This alto is a silver 62, And I've been playing for Yamahas for maybe 25 years or so. I used to play Selmer Alto, Mark 6, but many years ago I switched to the Yamaha and very much like this horn. It's a beautiful horn. But on tenor sax, I play a Selmer Mark 6, and then on soprano, I'm sorry I didn't bring those instruments, but curved con soprano, yes. Yes.
Какие различия были предпосылками к тому, чтобы переключиться именно на Yamaha, вот на этот альтограф?
The Yamaha has very crystal clear pop sound. It's less of a jazzy sound. To me, it sounded like more me. If that sounds, it's hard to kind of put that into words, but when I played it, it felt like a very natural sound for me. Together with this mouthpiece, which is a Beechler mouthpiece, and Rico plastic cover reeds. So this is the combination that felt most natural to me.
А можно вдвоем с вами сыграть?
Yeah. Do you play today?
Yeah.
Come on. Okay, this is Ramon. Ramon? Roman. Roman.
Насколько все гармонично в его музыке, в его исполнении, то есть это необыкновенно. Вживую услышав, я поразился, восхитился его необычайным владением звука. То есть он не играет, а поет, можно сказать. Но порой бывает, когда начинаешь на сцене играть, у тебя получается, тогда и возникает раскованность, то есть ты начинаешь ловить вот эту свободу, тогда у него он сразу ловит на сцене свободу, и поэтому у него это все органично и красиво смотрится. Но нам этого вообще не хватает, это артистизма. Часто бывает так, что люди очень круто владеют инструментом, очень классно играют, а почувствовать себя раскованным на сцене есть определенная зажатость.
Соль-мажорный блюз, но это по альто, если ориентироваться. Вообще-то си-бемольный блюз. Было классно, играет он круто. Конечно, очень положительный парень. Потом я, кстати, поиграла на его саксофоне, 62-я маха у него.
Bravo! Ramon or Roman? Roman and Sasha. What a great sound on the alto. Sasha. Sasha, very, very nice. Roman, Sasha, Anton, and
Alexander, Sasha. Sasha too.
Sasha too. Sasha. And Vadim, how about Большое спасибо. So nice to meet you all, and I'd like to thank all of the wonderful saxophone players today for playing. And I always love hearing other musicians play and their approach. I always learn a lot.
Всем большое спасибо, что пришли. За такие интересные...
Сегодня мы видели мастер-класс, пожалуй, одного из самых знаменитых саксофонистов мирового уровня. Да? По некоторым данным, он это самый знаменитый саксофонист. И сегодня пришли очень многие музыканты, очень многих я знаю, это действительно известные наши саксофонисты. Что было сегодня понятно, прежде всего, это, конечно, его отношение к звуку. И я так понимаю, что именно за звук он и выбрал инструменты Yamaha. Он рассказал, что он играет уже довольно-таки давно на Yamaha, причем не на кастомном инструменте, что интересно, а на профессиональной серии. То есть это YS-62 серебряные. Но так как он говорил все время, что он хочет избежать вот этого вот высоких частот, высокого звона вот это вот в саксофоне, даже вот он говорил, что своих звукооператоров просил прибрать, да, просит прибирать эту частоту, то понятно, почему он выбрал серебряный инструмент, потому что серебро немножко делает, да, инструмент мягче, любой, в принципе, и трубу, там, и саксофон. И, ну, я был удивлен, что это именно YS-62. Нет, и хочу я еще сказать, что я сегодня увидел дисплей, выставленные инструменты здесь в шоуруме. Здесь представлена вся линейка саксофонов Yamaha, что, в общем-то, редкость в нашей стране. Я думаю, что это единственное место в стране, где в наличии есть все эти инструменты. Колоссальный выбор аксессуаров. Милости просим, в гости к нашим дилерам, компанию Марьячи.
Лет 10 назад я купил пиратский диск Дейва Коза на горбушке, на знаменитой. Мне понравилась лирическая манера исполнения этого саксофониста, потому что это специальная такая особая музыка, которая музыка комфорта. Музыкант играет для того, чтобы людям было удобно жить там, где звучит эта музыка. На мой взгляд, мастерство исполнения – это очень важная вещь. Вот, лирика, вот, которая звучит в музыке Дейва Коза, ну это классно, это вот достойно большого уважения.
I don't know what he said, but it sounded good. It sounded like it was a positive experience. Большое спасибо.
Вам большое спасибо.
See you again.
It makes a great photo. But you've been busy as well. Somehow you struggled through today. You had a masterclass. Tell me more about that.
This was at a place called Mariachi Music, which is catering to mostly saxophone players like myself, and it's really phenomenal. It's a very interesting opportunity for me traveling so far away from where I live in Los Angeles, California, and coming to Moscow and getting a chance to see all these great young saxophone players. Not just young people, there were great professionals and also kids that were just starting out and everybody in between. Probably about 40 saxophone players, and we sat in a room, we talked, they asked questions, we all played.
Was it in English or were they being translated?
It was being translated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get the impression they knew much about their music?
They knew a lot about my music, interestingly enough, which we were talking before we went on the air today. It never ceases to amaze me. You know, I live so far away, and yet I get a chance to travel the world and go to wonderful places like Moscow and all across Asia and Africa, and going so far away from home, and people actually know the music, and they're familiar with my sound, they're familiar with the records. It really is an amazing thing, and it proves to me how small the world is.
You say it's surprising, but I mean, you've had, what, 15 albums? I mean, you've done several tours. Your latest album, this is part of the performance you're doing here on Sunday, as I understand it, at A2. And that's Hello to